Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Live with NORML. I'm JM Padini, the Development Director at the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. It's Friday, May 23rd, 2025. You know what that means? It's time for us to talk about this week's cannabis science and policy news. And hey, I'm going to answer all of your burning questions live. Let's get into it. Take a second. Let me know where you're watching from. Drop a note in the comments and let me know what your questions are. And hey, be sure you hit that like, follow, or subscribe button so you never miss when NORML goes live. We try to do this show every Friday around 4 o'clock Eastern. Let's take a look and see who's here. Hey, everyone who just joined us over on Instagram. Good to see you. Good to see you, Ultimate Outlaw. Hey, Angela in Chattanooga. Welcome. What's going on in Tennessee? All right, friends. Oh. Hey, hello, Stoned Blue is watching on Instagram. Tell me more about that. Tell me more. Stoned Blue is talking about Minnesota raising taxes. That seems like a lot. What's the actual tax hike? It can't be 50%. Minnesota cannabis tax increase. Let's see. There we go. Ah, yes, I see. Okay. Minnesota could raise tax on cannabis products before the market launches. Legislators are looking to increase the tax to 15%. I bet they do want to raise it to 50%, Stoned Blue. It looks like it's part of a budget deal. The governor and some leaders in the legislature agreed to increase the adult use cannabis tax rate in Minnesota from 10 to 15%. All right. Right now it's 10%, and it looks like that this is going to require a legislative effort. I see. Thank you. I got what I got to the point in this article, Stone Blue, that's talking about the 50%. That's 15 and 50 are different numbers, but State Rep Nolan West, a Republican from Blaine, apparently said this during a House floor debate, quote, before a single license is issued, the tax rate's going to go up 50% because Governor Walz wouldn't sign a budget without tax increases. A 50% increase, I believe, is what the representative was alluding to. And Stone Blue, I'm glad you brought this up because this is happening around the country. State legislators are treating consumers like ATMs, not like constituents. You all are the cash cows out there, and they want to capitalize on you. Now, we've been pretty vocal about this in, I was going to say recent weeks, but heck, it's been months now at this point, about these attacks that are happening on legal cannabis, on cannabis consumers in state houses around the nation, not just state houses, courthouses as well. In Texas, the Attorney General sued to prevent a number of local voter-approved ordinances that would have depenalized marijuana possession in small amounts. That's right, Attorney General Ken Paxton sued to prevent localities from enacting those voter-approved measures and to force localities that had already enacted these measures to repeal them. So Again, not being hyperbolic when we say, listen, your rights could very easily go up in smoke, depending on where you are in the United States. Hey, James, good to see you. Are you in the UK? Hey, CJ. CJ brings up that there's an election this November in Virginia, and that's ultimately the outcome of that election will determine whether or not Virginians are finally able to enact retail sales for adult use cannabis. There are going to be two choices on the ballot, Virginia. Democratic candidate Abigail Spanberger and Republican candidate Winsome Earl Sears. Spanberger is a former congressperson, and Sears is the current lieutenant governor. They could not be farther apart on cannabis policy. And really, if you want to see the remainder of legalization enacted in Virginia, there's only one choice for you, and that's Abigail Spanberger. Hey, everyone that just joined us on Instagram. Hey, Fila Fresh asks, what can we do in Texas? You know what you can do in Texas is vote. You have a voting problem in Texas. I mean, not that people don't vote, or maybe they don't, but you're electing the wrong people. Texas, so many states have similar issues. And since you brought this up, Fila, I'm going to go ahead and share our voter guide with everyone. It's called Smoke the Vote. And wherever you are, this will help you when you're heading to that ballot box. This will help you know who to vote for, where the candidates stand on cannabis policy. And if you elect people who are terrible on cannabis, then you will in fact get terrible cannabis policies. Texas is a stunning example of that. Hey, Angela. Angela asks, does Senate Bill 3 in Texas prevent in-state THCA flower cultivation or sale? Is that Patrick's bill that he's all gung-ho about? I'm going to take a quick look and see if I can see it on our tracker. I think, is that the hemp ban bill? The hemp ban bill? Also, let's all stop kidding ourselves. THCA flower is weed. If that's the same bill, then yes. Thank you, Angela. Yeah, my general understanding of Texas's SB3 is that, yes, I read a brief summary about it today, but what's really concerning about this bill is not that it takes unregulated products off of corner store shelves, but that it criminalizes possession. So a number of states have said, no thanks, we don't want unregulated THC products on our shelves. But this one doesn't just say no. This one doesn't just prohibit the sale of unregulated products. It criminalizes possession, and that's really problematic. I believe also the criminal penalties for possession are more so than the criminal criminal penalties for possession of marijuana in Texas, and that's wild. It's entirely bizarre. Yeah. There we go. Let's see what this one says. Yeah, adults could face a $500 fine for possessing a product like that. Interesting. Since we're talking about Texas, though, Angela, I'm also going to put out there that Texas, you do have a medical cannabis program, and it is in desperate need of expansion. Fortunately, there's legislation pending for just that. There we go. There are a number. There's a House bill. There are two House bills for this. It looks like one of them has gained a little bit more traction than others. HB 46. I'll go ahead and drop a. I know you're on Instagram, so I can't really share the link with you there, but you can get it in our Take Action Center at norml.org/act. Just click on Texas, and it's going to be the one at the top of the Texas list. 1,090 letters have been sent in support of expanding Texas's medical cannabis access program. I would encourage you to make sure everyone else you know is sending that. Thank you, Angela. There are a few bills for this, so you can go through the list and send action alerts on this. There's also a legalization bill as well. There are two of them, House Bill 1208 and Senate Bill 335. There's been about 1,400 constituent emails sent on that. So make sure you're getting everyone you know in Texas, Angela, to take action on this pending legislation. Really would like to see Texas make some headway on expanding their medical program. And I say that because, look, the legislature you have elected, Texas, is not going to pass an adult use legalization bill, but there is an opportunity for them to pass some expansion to your existing medical program. Scott, thank you so much. I'm staring at my desktop camera. Thanks for letting me know you'd like to donate a better webcam. Scott asks what platform gets the most viewers and chatters for your stream. So these are two different. The larger conversation really happens on YouTube, but that's not where the majority of the views are. The majority of the views at the end of the day end up being on Facebook, and the majority of the viewers during the live stream are typically on YouTube. No, Twitter, sorry. So YouTube for the chat, Twitter for the during the show, most viewers, and then Facebook at the end of the day for the largest viewership. You're the only person who's ever asked about that. Thanks. What is that about? I don't know. Cannabis M. Duffman. What are you talking about? It's what asks this on YouTube. And you're in Virginia. Okay. Will jobs never drug test in Virginia? Yeah, there are already a lot of employers who don't screen for cannabis in Virginia. We know that Amazon happens to be one of them. We know that because they said so. We are certainly in Virginia looking at expanding the employment protection law that's currently in place for medical cannabis patients. We'd like to see that expanded not only to include adult consumers, but to include pre-employment screening as well. A number of states have already taken this action and not only provide protections, employment protections, but prohibit pre-employment screening in most jobs, for most jobs. You only see Facebook, Scott? Well, you can find us on all of them. If you go to the NORML Is that really the right way to do it, though? I don't know. Where do you want to watch? Just go to YouTube and Google NORML, and go to YouTube and search NORML. It should come right up. Hey, Aaron, I'm so glad you asked this question. Aaron says, how do I get a NORML chapter set up in South Dakota? We don't have anyone here. You volunteer to do it. In all seriousness, we have all the information you need on how to start a chapter on the NORML website. And I am going to drop a link to that right here for you. There we go. There's the start a chapter page, Aaron. Essentially, whoops, that's not what I did. Essentially, what you need are 4 people who are members of NORML for this year. 4 people who have 2025 NORML membership. And you'll submit the application. It's a simple Google form. You answer a few quick questions. And then we would meet, and we have sort of the structural resources that we can share with you to get started. That's about it. You go ahead and get your, form your nonprofit, and then file for your tax exemption status with the IRS. That's it. So Aaron, I hope you can see that link. It should be right above your comment. It says NORML, start a chapter. That's the one you need. You can also email us at chapters@norml.org. I'm going to see that if you use that. Is there a way you can get a grant to get the membership? You can email me, Aaron. I'll also say this, fundraising's, unfortunately kind of part of the whole thing. So let's see what we can do together. Yeah, Scott, definitely. Yep, Scott. So this is streaming on NORML's Facebook, Virginia NORML's Facebook, NORML's LinkedIn, NORML's YouTube, NORML's Twitter, NORML's Instagram, and Virginia NORML's Instagram. So choose from those. There we go. Hey, everyone that just joined us on Instagram. That is weird. Angela, you're asking about employment info. Did you mean for Virginia or just in general? Because yes, if it's Virginia. And then for every other state, it's going to vary. If you go just to norml.org and use the search function for employment, that will give you a lot of results in where we've written about employment law in those states. So you would see a bunch of states. And then if you're looking for Virginia employment law specifically, then there is a dedicated page for that. Great, Aaron. Thank you. I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, let's talk about some news. Why is that so big? Looks weird. Someone is sharing the most colorful commentary in one of the Instagram streams. I see. It's what? Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, let's talk about some news from this week. Since we're already talking about employment and drug testing, let's talk about this story first. This is one that's published on the NORML blog from yesterday, and it deals with saliva testing. So there was a study done, and it looked at the validity of oral fluid testing for determining not only cannabis impairment, but also just exposure. And NORML has repeatedly argued that employers should not assume that the detection of either THC or THC metabolites in body fluids, including blood, urine, and saliva, are evidence of impairment. Because we know from other science that the presence of THC or the presence of metabolites is not predictive of impairment. And this is a study wherein the researchers agree. They agree, because science, that's how science works. But anyhow, these researchers go on to say that, quote, oral fluid tests should not be considered a valid indicator of cannabis-induced impairment. They say a lot of other things in this article as well. They say, quote, research shows a high degree of variability in THC concentrations for subjects given the same amount of cannabis. So they're saying that subjects are all consuming the same amount, and then what's inside them is being measured differently. It's not all the same, the concentrations inside the consumers. They go on to say, quote, this variability produced some very high outliers in terms of THC concentrations and detracts from oral fluid tests as a valid tool. We've talked about this a number of times in recent months, particularly given that in 2023, federal transportation regulators passed new rules to provide commercial driver's license holders with the option of undergoing oral fluid testing as an alternative to the mandatory urinalysis testing. But as of now, those rules have not yet been adopted in the federal workplace. So even if they were to adopt that, again, science still does not support using oral fluid testing as an indicator of either consumption or impairment. What the heck is that? Hey, Ryan. Happy Friday to you as well. Good to see you. Yeah, so it's what, again, Virginia law provides employment protections to existing employees, not to those going through the job application process. That's because we have a we have a legislator that's not been super progressive on that issue. That's how I'm going to say that. In Virginia, you do not have to register to participate in the medical cannabis program. You just have to get certified, and there's that certification, that actual physical certification that affords those employment protections. That's all you have to have in order to have them. And again, we're going to look toward the 2026 General Assembly to hopefully expand those if Virginians elect the right governor. Ryan, I'm so glad you said this. Ryan says it's only a matter of time before they have some testing method that is more accurate. That time is here, my friend. In fact, it exists, and we've talked about this a lot. NORML has called for the expanded use of performance-based tests like Druid, or tests like Alert Meter by Predictive Safety. These are software-based applications that gauge the potential impairment of the subject, regardless of substance or reason. It's measuring response time and eye movement. So it's available. These products are in use around the country, and companies that are using them really do see significant savings in workers' compensation claims. So if there were a company out there that were genuinely interested in testing for impairment as opposed to just getting someone for using cannabis, right? Because that's the they're all hung up on this gotcha right now, then they can just buy them and use them. It's not special. It's available. Anyhow, yeah, Druid or Alert Meter. Available today for use by whoever wants it. You can download Druid and use it yourself. Hey, Sean. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Ramona, what's going on in Kansas? Are you doing the same thing as Texas? Look, that's happening around the country where state legislators and regulators are realizing that hemp isn't what they thought it was, and they don't want unregulated products on corner store shelves. And so you are seeing those stores close. It's unfortunate for people who don't have access in any other way in their state. I get that hardship. You know? All right, what is that? Hey, the Jessica. The Jessica says, thank goodness I'm in New York and it's already legalized. Exactly. Since you brought that up, I'm going to assume you're Jessica since your user ID is the Jessica. So if I shouldn't call you Jessica, you let me know, Jessica. But I do have some information that I want to share with you in particular, because I'm about to be in your neck of the woods. Coming up in June, there are 2 events. So on June 3rd, the 2025 NORML Formal will be taking place at the CMB Rooftop Bash. And June 4th and 5th, I will be at Cannabis Means Business. It's the CMB Expo at Javits, the Javits Center. You can get a free, you're going to have to write this down. Sorry, I'm going to try to post it on Instagram. Instagram hates when I try to post comments. Like, I'm going to try. There you go. You should be able to see it. I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to give you 2 links. Oh, I should paste that for everybody else too. There you go, everybody else. I was real hung up on trying to make sure that Instagram could see that. Okay, here's the other one coming up for you, Jessica. Here's the other one. And then here's the other one for everybody else. Okay, so I would love to see you all at the NORML Formal. You do have to buy a ticket to that, and you can get 30% off with the code NORML25. Also, you can get a free, entirely 100% free Expo Hall Pass by using the same code NORML25. You're going to go to cannabismeansbusiness.com. Now, you do need to get your free Expo Hall Pass by the 3rd. I mean, you can get it up until the 3rd. The day of the show, the 4th and 5th, the free ones will be gone. So make sure, if you want that free pass, you just go ahead and get that right now. Go to cannabismeansbusiness.com and get your free pass. And then I'd love to see you at the NORML Formal. I'm going to expect to see you there, Jessica. Daniel, we were very involved in the Florida election and with Amendment 3. You can see that on our website. We'll be involved again if it qualifies for the ballot in 26. Jessica, I hope you join the comments, the other comments in this thread, because what is that? Oh, you're in Buffalo? I know, but come down to the city just for a little bit, okay? I don't know about any upstate events at the moment, but if I do, I will share them here on Live with Normal. Ramona, let me look at Kansas for you. Scott, you just have to go over to Instagram if you want to see it. It's wild. I can't show comments from that. It has to stream, but it has to stream separately. So I can't show that. I can show Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn and Twitter comments on the screen, but I can't show the other ones. There's something going on over there. Maybe you can explain to me what's going on. All right, Kansas, right. Let me get back on the right page, Ramona, and we'll take a look at that. Let me pop into the Take Action Center. No, not on TikTok. I mean, yes, we are on TikTok, but this isn't streaming on TikTok because TikTok doesn't integrate with StreamYard yet. I have been thinking about it, but really what I have to do is set up another camera. So send that webcam. I have to set up another camera to stream. And then you're going to see like this. Then you're going to see all of the office and like me from the side or something, but whatever. That should be fine, shouldn't it? I don't see anything, Ramona. I don't have anything for Kansas in the Take Action Center. So that's what I know about Kansas. Hey, Richard from Michigan NORML. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Design 5. Good to see you. Let's talk about some news. We talked about the driving. I feel like a lot of these are going to be one. This is another roundup where we go, these are all things we've seen before. That's okay. That's okay. We talked about cannabis sales in Canada really dipping after legalization. Remember, Canada is legal nationwide, and this is an entirely separate study. And again, looking specifically at Nova Scotia, though, this time. And they experienced the same thing where alcohol sales declined following the legalization of adult use marijuana. So a researcher analyzed alcoholic beverage sales specifically in Nova Scotia during the 17 months immediately prior to and following Canada's nationwide legalization. And alcohol sales did decline about 2.2% immediately following legalization, and then they remained below average throughout the study period. But the study author goes on to conclude that the net decrease in alcohol sales implies that after cannabis became legal to use, consumers substituted it for alcohol more often than before. What do you think? Does that mesh with your experience? Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. Hey, Richard, let me pop this up right here. Richard, I was talking with, that's not the page I want. I was talking with one of our interns about this, about the saliva testing bills in Michigan last night, yesterday evening, whatever, and it was voted. So this was yesterday. There was a saliva DUI testing bill in Michigan that was voted out of committee yesterday morning. And yeah, it's a 2-bill package. And so I asked Ty if we had an action alert up for that yet, and if not, could we please get one? It looks like it may be up now. This is House Bill 4390 and House Bill 4391. Does that sound right to you, Richard? Yeah, pass out of committee. It's up on oh, it's on the tracker, but we don't have the action alert up yet. We will though. Oh, I can see you already answered that. Thanks. The liquor industry. Richard says the liquor industry is supporting these bills in Michigan. Expands to include other bodily fluid. Oh, that's delightful. The liquor industry is really getting its eyeballs on cannabis right now. You know? Hey, Cal Robinson, Esquire. I see your comment on Instagram. Cal asks, when are they going to do something about Schedule 3? That is a great question. That is a question that was in fact recently asked, and there was no answer. There was no answer provided. So I'm looking to see if it's up here, because I was going to be so excited that I could just read the article to you, but I can't. I'd have to go dig it out of my email. What I can tell you, though, is that the Trump tapped Terry Cole for the head of the DEA, and he is currently the Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security here in Virginia, and has said some pretty crazy things about marijuana. He posted, so the secretary in Virginia, I want to look it up and see if I can find some little article. He oversees, sort of oversees the Cannabis Control Authority. They're an independent agency, but if they need something from a secretariat, it would be public safety. So yesterday, the Senate committee approved Terry, good old Terry, to become the administrator of DEA. Now, like I said, Cole has previously made some comments about the dangers of marijuana, linking it to higher suicide risk among youth. But he did say, when asked about this process, the administrative process for rescheduling, he would, quote, give the matter careful consideration after consulting with appropriate personnel within the Drug Enforcement Administration, familiarizing myself with the current status of the regulatory process and reviewing all relevant information. Which is a non-answer. He didn't say anything. But during an in-person hearing before the Judiciary Committee last month, he said that taking a look at the rescheduling proposal will, quote, be one of my first priorities. Will it? And again, that's one of his first priorities will be to look at it. He also says that he was asked if he was confirmed. He says if he was confirmed for the role, he says it's, quote, time to move forward, end quote, on this process that's stalled out. But he didn't clarify exactly what result he would like to see. He doesn't. say what outcome he would like. He goes on to say, quote, "I'm not familiar exactly where we are, but I know the process has been delayed numerous times and it's time to move forward. I need to understand more where the agencies are and look at the science behind it and listen to the experts and really understand where they are in the process." He also thinks it's appropriate to form a working group to look at the conflict between state and federal marijuana laws and, quote, "stay ahead of it." My dude, you're not anywhere ahead of it. You can't catch up first. The only way to get ahead of it, Terry, is to pass a bill through Congress that removes marijuana from the Federal Controlled Substances Act, thus allowing states to set their own policies free from threat of federal interference. So Cole's nomination goes to the Senate floor next. Now, what's going on with this? Nothing. Nothing's going on with this administrative process to consider moving marijuana from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 because there was a change in the administration. It's entirely commonplace that when there's a change in administration, there's a pause on any administrative processes that are underway like that. However, there were other issues with this process before the current administration came in. There was a delay because there were accusations of impropriety in the process. So, is it going to be anybody's priority? Who knows? But also, this is not the first time there's been a rescheduling or a scheduling review, and often that process is a multi-year process. So here at NORML, we are not surprised by any of this. It can take many, many years. So vote. Vote, please. Please stop electing people who are terrible on cannabis policy. Hey, Ryan. Ryan asked, are there any bills or proposals in Virginia on repealing anything cannabis related? I saw something about trying to roll back. Yes, so the governor vetoed a medical cannabis operations bill. This is a boring bill that we have every year that just sort of cleans up things for the medical cannabis program, and he vetoed it because apparently he doesn't want better labeling on medical cannabis in Virginia. He claimed, falsely I might add, that it would expand access. What it would have done is codified prohibitions on delivery locations and improved labeling. So yes, there is litigation pending in the state to address what amounts to overreach by the regulatory body in their attempt to restrict where deliveries may occur. State law does not restrict delivery locations to residents, but the regulator wants to restrict delivery to only your residents. So if you have a job during delivery hours and the closest dispensary is 2 hours away, too bad, says CCA. You better find the money for gas and take the time off of work to go drive to the dispensary. Anyhow, there's litigation pending to address this. I smell your own. I appreciate your comment, even if I'm not going to show it. Swinktastic says, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has me entirely convinced he's paid to do what he did in Texas. Look at his body language when he speaks about banning THC. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, Swinktastic. I personally don't ever look at Dan Patrick, nor do I want to, but now I'm kind of curious to see what you're talking about. Oh, Scott, your comment is delightful. Also, it's going to be right there next to Smell Your Owns, where I enjoy it and don't show it. Yeah. And but to your point, it's fantastic. Is he paid to do what he does? Yes, he's paid to do what he does because he's an elected member of your legislature, and that's how campaign contributions work. You know, I feel like we have some more news. So we talked about the dip in alcohol sales following legalization in Canada. Let's talk about alcohol one more time, and then we'll go on to the next one. There was a clinical trial done. Again, that's right, a clinical trial about cannabis. You know how they love to say, "Oh, we need more research." Do we? No. The answer is no, we do not. There are over 50,000 entries in PubMed right now referencing cannabis or one of its constituents. That's the nation's repository for things like clinical trials and peer-reviewed studies. PubMed.gov. 50,000, over 50,000 entries. There's over 120 clinical trials. Your average drug goes through fewer than 2 clinical trials before you can get it at your pharmacy. Anyhow, remember that next time someone says, but we need more research. Listen, here's some research for you. This is a clinical trial that looked at CBD and alcohol cravings. Now, there have been a number of studies that looked at using CBD to reduce cravings for other intoxicants, like heroin, like, I guess you could say, like other psychoactive substances, because I'm about to say tobacco or nicotine, and is that an intoxicant? I guess so. And alcohol. Excuse me. Surprise, surprise. The daily use of CBD reduces alcohol cravings. What I think is really worth looking at, worth reiterating in this, is not just that CBD, daily use of CBD had the ability to reduce alcohol cravings. And this is in people with alcohol use disorder, by the way. The participants in the clinical trial were given capsules that contained CBD, or they were given capsules that contained CBD and a little bit of THC, or they were given a placebo. This went on for 8 weeks. And what will come as a shock to no one on watching this show, the participants that had the capsules that had CBD and trace amounts of THC, they did the best. They had the best response. It also, CBD doesn't influence the brain. Yeah, okay. So it says researchers reported that daily CBD consumption reduced participants' alcohol cravings with minimal side effects, and that the participants who consumed capsules with trace amounts of THC as well, quote, demonstrated stronger improvements in AUD symptoms relative to those who consumed CBD only. So it's interesting. There have been other similar studies done that looked at tobacco, heroin, and meth, all with similar results. Didn't know we'd be talking about meth today. What do we have? We have 3 more quick newses for you. John, I saw that. First, hey, John. Good to see you. Second, John mentioned that Bill Maher and Woody Harrelson's dispensary was burglarized. Bill Maher and Woody Harrelson are both on the NORML advisory board. Scott. Yeah, look, Richard says the alcohol lobby is attacking us. or the US. I think you're correct either way. There are some big plays from the alcohol industry where they are, particularly in states that do not yet have a comprehensive regulatory model for cannabis. Alcohol is making a play for it in those states like Wisconsin, where they are hoping that they're going to write the biggest check and that then they will be the only purveyors of THC beverages. Seems like a really weird way to sort of like niche legalize THC, where, like, can you imagine how weird is it to say, oh, you know what, let's legalize THC seltzer so you can go buy it at the liquor store, but if you have a joint on you, I'm going to arrest you and put you in jail. Is that really what you're considering, Wisconsin? Because that's 100% what it sounds like. Maybe focus on something like, I don't know, medical cannabis access in your state instead of just handing alcohol retailers a blank check. Thanks for bringing that up. So we did alcohol. Let's do veterans. There's a survey done. And I'm sure this will just be such a surprise to you all. But this was a survey of veterans and their family members, and 50% of those surveyed support allowing the Veterans Administration to provide medical cannabis treatment. 57% of those surveyed. Exactly, Ryan. We know veterans overwhelmingly support allowing VA to provide them medical cannabis services. And there's just another survey that says the same thing. Ryan, talking about alcohol, says it's all about getting the money and maintaining their large share of the market. I bet they're crying some kind of tears if they're seeing nationwide legalization to cut into their profits in Canada. And this is their play for it here. Someone should ask Dan Patrick what he thinks of that. I think this one is interesting because it's about seed oil. Okay, here comes this. We're going to talk about a preclinical study. That means it was done on mice. There's a preclinical study that looked at the topical application of hemp seed oil. There are no cannabinoids in seeds, but hemp seed oil and its efficacy in wound healing. And it turns out that it appeared to be effective in these mice. The study authors go on to say, quote, hemp seed oil may be considered a promising adjunct or alternative treatment for wound management, particularly for patients seeking natural and cost-effective options. Again, it's not a rub CBD on your boo-boo. This is hemp seed oil. How interesting. They did, in this preclinical study, we're comparing it to some other ointment. Chloramphenicol ointment. And it worked better than that. I'm not going to pretend to know what that is, but I am going to look it up right now so we can all find out together. It's mainly used to treat eye infections such as conjunctivitis and sometimes ear infections. It's a topical antibiotic used to treat bacterial infections. Thank you, internets. There we go. We all learned that together today. You're welcome. And then the last story of the week is about musculoskeletal pain. No, not ESPN. That's not that one. Did I say his name wrong? No, that's right. The Lieutenant Governor of Texas, that Dan Patrick. I got so distracted. Where are we? Oh, right, musculoskeletal pain. Musculoskeletal pain patients experience symptom improvements when they use medical cannabis, and they have minimal side effects. I know, groundbreaking news I'm sharing with you all here, but listen, I hear we need more research one more time. Who am I kidding? I'm going to hear it like 5 more times a day. Listen, it's just so abundant. Here's what Here's what NORML's Deputy Director Paul Armentano said about this study. He says, these findings add to the growing body of evidence that cannabis is effective in the treatment of multiple conditions, including chronic pain, and that it possesses a safety profile that is often superior to traditional medications like opioids. As legal access continues to expand, one would expect more patients to integrate cannabis products into their pain management strategies in a manner that reduces their overall disease burden, as well as their reliance on opioids and other analgesic medications. You can read all of these stories on the NORML website at normal.org. Some of them will be on the front page, and the others will be in the news section. Of course, you could just get these delivered to your inbox every Thursday and every Saturday. I would love to send them to you. On Thursday, NORML's News of the Week comes out around 4:20 p.m. Eastern, because I think I'm funny. And on Saturdays, NORML's Weekend Weed Read delivers about 9 a.m. Eastern. So head to normal.org/subscribe. Make sure you check the Weekend Weed Read box as well, so you get both of them. And subscribe. Get these stories right there. What? You think there should be more scientific research on scientific research? Thank you. You sent me an email, JT? Great. Also, hi, JT. Good to see you. What'd you send me an email about? Do I want to know? Did you just send it already? Did you just send it? I don't see it. Are you going to send me an email? Did you send it to me directly? Oh, you sent it to, don't, that's not a real email. info@normal.org isn't a real one. You can send it to normal@normal.org. I will see that. Normal@normal.org. All right. Let me share with, we talked a little bit earlier about the event. Oh, it's about not getting your card. I'm sorry about that, JT. That is also valid, Scott. Thank you. But JT is not asking about Virginia. But Scott, yes, you can email. I will see that Virginia NORML email if you send it there. JT, just email me again, and normal@normal.org, and just say, here's the address. Include your address, because if your card hasn't arrived, that's usually the issue, where we either don't have complete address information or it's outdated. Also, my next batch of cards is supposed to arrive on the 30th. So it's going to be a hot second until I get the next batch out. All right, let's I believe it. I'm sure that ActBlue processed your transaction for you. Oh, ActBlue has the right address? Great. Well, I'll mail you a card. I'm sorry you don't have it yet. Here, take this one. We have a couple of events coming up this month. We have the NORML Formal 2025 NORML Formal at the Cannabis Means Business B2B Rooftop Bash. This is on June 3rd at the Yotel in New York City. Tickets are required, but you can get 30% off if you use code NORML25. You can get full details for that on the NORML website at normal.org/normal-formal FORML. And then June 4th and 5th in New York City at the Javits Center, we will be at Cannabis Means Business. Do you want a free expo pass? I'll give you one. You're going to go to cannabismeansbusiness.com. You're going to use code NORMAL25. You're going to get a free pass. You're going to come see me on the show floor. Also, if you want to upgrade to one of the other seminar passes, you'll save 30% with NORMAL25. Coming up in July is the National Cannabis Festival. This is July 18th and 19th. It's at the RFK Festival grounds. And you can get tickets at nationalcannabisfestival.com. Those of you watching on Instagram, you can find National Cannabis Festival on Instagram for that quick link, but nationalcannabisfestival.com. If you are going to go, if you're thinking about going, please go ahead and get your tickets well in advance because this event sells out almost every year. I'm excited that they've expanded it to 2 days this year. It's really exciting. JT, you told someone in Michigan about NORML and they had no clue about it. I believe it. Thanks for spreading the word, friend. Hey, Montco NORML, I see you. I see you on Instagram. And then coming up in December, I know there's another one too, but I don't have that one prepared. So we'll just go ahead to December 2025 NORML Key West Legal Seminar. It's December 4th through the 6th. We'll be at the Hyatt Centric Key West this year, which is a new hotel for us. Very excited about that. If you are a practicing attorney who needs continuing legal education credits, like I need water, good news. NORML legal seminars are fully accredited in all states that require CLEs. So we got you. If you're not an attorney or you just don't need those CLEs, that's okay. We got you too with a discounted rate. You're going to go to normal.org/Key West and register. It's a really excellent legal seminar, even if you're not an attorney. And this is a fantastic way for anybody who's interested in being part of this movement or part of the larger industry to connect with legal experts from around the country as we work together to move from marijuana prohibition to cannabis freedom. Yes, that's the one. That's the one, John. Key West. It's a good time. Come, hang out. Also in June, when is Hampton Roads Pride? I'm looking it up in real time right now. Hampton Roads Pride in Virginia. That's the largest one in the state. Normally we would do Virginia Pride in Richmond. We would be there, but we're going to go down to Hampton Roads instead this year because it's bigger. And it's in June. Why can't can't I find anything on this stuff? There we go. June 21st. All right. So you can also see us at the 37th annual Hampton Roads Pride Fest and Boat Parade. Sure, I'll take that big long weird event number right there, whatever. June 21st. I'm just pasting this all in for you right now. Saturday, June 21st from 12 to 7. Come see me, and some other folks from Virginia NORML will be with me at Hampton Roads Pride. And we'll have lots of fun merch. There's a place in Stanton that you would like to host us. Great. I would love for there to be an event for us in Stanton. I have a really good friend who lives in Stanton, so let's do that. Let's do that. I'll probably be at some events in Christiansburg and Blacksburg later in June as well. Yes, John. Paul will be in Key West with me, and Keith. And he will be presenting as well. Hey, Kevin. I see you. Thanks for joining right as I'm getting ready to end the show. It's okay. If you're just joining, we're about to wrap up, but you can rewatch any episode of Live with NORML on NORML's YouTube. Just find the Live with NORML playlist, and we'll be there. It's okay, Kevin. We're recording it, so you can watch it back later. But hurry up if you have any burning questions, so I can get those answered for you real quick. I'm ready to go home and get down to the 3-day weekend. Talked about all the things. Okay. You're curious about Texas? Kevin, nothing good is happening in Texas because it's Texas. The weird thing about the bill that your lieutenant governor loves is not that it's going to remove unregulated products from corner store shelves. A lot of states are doing that. What's super weird is it would criminalize possession of these products. It would criminalize them to the tune of $500 for an adult, and I think there's other penalties for subsequent possession charges. But I think that's weird, and it's a different penalty than it is for marijuana possession. So that's kind of gross. But also, Kevin, there are a number of bills pending in Texas, and there's a medical cannabis expansion bill, a teacup expansion bill in Texas, as I'm sure you know. And I think that is a point that we could see real movement in Texas. You have a medical program, you really need to expand it. And of course, it's not perfect. Let's try to make it better. Let's try to get some momentum there and make sure more people have access to products that are actually regulated through your state's program. All right. Oh, that's okay. Great. Yes. Hey, John, other John. Any news on South Carolina? I'm going to take a quick look for you. Y'all are sucking me back in. I'm trying to leave. I haven't noticed any traction in anything. We still have, that's a hard bill. There are still 4 bills that we are tracking in South Carolina. There's H 3019, which is Put Patients First Act. There's S 53, which is the Compassionate Care Act. There's H 3804, which is a marijuana decriminalization. And then there's a drug testing bill that is H3153 that we're supporting, presumably it amends drug testing policies. I'll take a quick look and see. Stop marijuana testing for people on probation. That's what it is. So yeah, there are four action alerts up for South Carolina, but I am looking at it right now, and it just has every single one of the bills still say in committee, and the last date of action on every single one of them was January, which isn't surprising for South Carolina, but again, that's what's going on. John, I see your question. Listen, also you say you're stealing my part, John. Okay, John asks, will John Morgan be at the event in Key West? John Morgan, who used to work at Disney World and became a personal injury attorney. John Morgan, who used to work at Disney with me. We worked together in entertainment. And then one day I was in a bill signing. This was for I think it was for the very first medical cannabis bill that we finally made progress on in 2015 or 2016. Was 100 years ago. And I was in then Governor Terry McAuliffe's office for the bill signing. And we'd done the bill signing, and there's kind of like a gaggle around him, and he was just asking random questions. And Florida was in the process of legalizing medical cannabis outright at that point. And he said something to the effect of, what's going on in Florida or whatever. And he said, my best friend is an attorney in Florida. I'm from Orlando. And so of course I know every person in the state of Florida. So I weirdly ask something like that, who's that, Governor? And he says, John Morgan. And I fell over. I was like, I'm sorry, what? John Morgan and I used to work together, and he loved that. And then it was the sort of parting of the seas, and oh my gosh, can we take a picture? We need to text this picture to John right now, which we did. So I don't know if John Morgan's going to come, but I'm going to guess no. He doesn't need to see all these. All right, friends, this has been a blast. I love your questions. I love hanging out with you all on Fridays, and I hope that you'll go ahead and hit that follow, or subscribe button wherever you're watching, so you never miss when NORML goes live. If you haven't had a chance to join NORML for 2025 yet, now's the perfect time. I would love to send you your 2025 official member card, especially you, JT. So you're going to go to norml.org/join, and you're going to join. Annual NORML membership is $42 a year, and we really need all the help that we can get. We're fighting hard for you, and have been for the past 55 years, working to protect the rights of responsible cannabis consumers. We can't do that without your support. So if you haven't joined NORML yet, today's the perfect day for that. Friends, this has been fun. I hope you'll come back and join us again on Live with NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director here at the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. And as always, I'll see you back here next time. Bye-bye.